Okay. Solid page, solid page. This is awesome. Good content. Okay, dope message. Truth, truth. Okay. Speaking up on stage. What if I could interview him? Oh, we got Avenues of Wisdom, guys. Thank you for coming back for another week. And we got AJ Washington here with us. He's a man of faith, um, great speaker, motivational speaker. He's in Dallas, Texas right now, but he has an amazing story for walking in his purpose. And I found his page through Instagram, and I wanted to share him with you. So I got to interview him here. I want to thank him so much for joining me today. And AJ, I'll let you start off kind of talking about your story, and kind of one of the first things I want to catapult off of that is, I mean, years ago when you were a young boy, did you see yourself sitting where you are right now at your desk, following your dreams, kind of walking in your purpose and using your gifts? Did you see yourself where you are right now?
You know what? It's funny that you asked that because I actually ran for a long time. Like, you know how you know that you are called towards a certain direction in life, and
Yeah.
sometimes you know the requirements, you know the sacrifice, and
Hmm.
it gets scary because it's not popular. It's not something that everybody is doing. And for a second there, you take off, you run in the opposite direction, doing the things you want to do, applying for the jobs you want to apply for,
Yeah.
um, going after the things that is popular. And so, you get to a point in life where you just gotta understand that in order for you to develop in the way that you were meant to develop, the way you were meant to function in, you have to go after what's in your heart, and then everything else will follow.
Fall into place. And you were
Hmm.
in kind of like the financial world, weren't you, for a bit
Yeah.
after college, and
Hmm.
kind of following that continuum that we're all supposed to, but you felt a pull, and you said you've kind of felt lost. So
Yeah.
kind of explain more of that and delve more into that, because I feel people may be in that position right now.
Yeah, no, I was graduated from college with my mathematical engineering degree, and so I was pumped. I was ready to go, into the job market. And not saying that that was a bad thing or anything. I was able
Mm-hmm.
to land some pretty high and prominent positions. I went into investment banking was my first kind of foot into my career door. We did municipal finance, so whenever a company or a city or whenever a city gets ready to build and they're using tax dollars, we were usually behind those projects. And so it was a great opportunity for me to meet people, for me to just get involved and just actually see like a different perspective of
Yeah.
how the world operates. And they're using the same principles that, I kind of speak on today. It's just they don't have it attached to a godly foundation. And so after that, it led me to the private equity round where we was working on just a huge fund.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of led me more into the consulting realm. So outside of, just doing what I was doing for corporations, now kind of moved to like more of a personal end and company
Mm-hmm.
small business end as well, consulting on finances and structuring certain things when it comes to building high performance teams and allowing companies to kind of understand how to dissect their finances and be able to be profitable in the future. So it did result in like a consulting round for me, but I got to the point where everything was going good on one end of my life, but then
Yeah.
on the other end, it was tragic. I was lost, I was hurt. But if you looked at me from the outside, you'll say, "Oh man, he got
Mm-hmm.
it."
Yeah, that
Right,
exterior persona. Yeah.
right. It was almost like my image versus my identity crisis, right? The image
Yeah.
is what I showed you. The image is what you get to see. But my
Mm-hmm.
identity was lost. I didn't know who I was completely was because I had given myself so completely to man that I had fallen absent of myself. And so it really kind of shifted my paradigm when it came to my calling and my purpose. And there was one day I was just sitting and I looked around and I was just like, wow, there's just a huge gap in the millennial culture when it comes to understanding their purpose.
Yeah.
Relationships is a big issue when it comes to approval, addictions, and then right now when it comes to mental health and anxiety and things of that nature. And it
Yeah.
all stems from not understanding what your purpose is, not understanding who you are, and just trying to get to a place where you can walk boldly and giving yourself permission to what God called you to be.
Which is where you are sitting right now. And I bet you feel
Yeah.
totally different right now. You feel probably so fulfilled walking in your faith from where you
Mhm.
were and when you were lost,
Yeah. Hmm.
empty in an aspect.
You know, it's funny that you say that because it's the same amount of work, it's the same amount
Yeah.
of grind, it's the same amount of waking up every single day, early in the morning,
Yeah.
going after it with the same mentality. It's just now I don't feel depleted at the end of the day.
Hmm.
I feel completed at the end of the day. And I think a lot of people are facing like, God, I'm grinding, I'm doing the best I can, but I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. And by the time they go to sleep, you feel depleted. You feel like you haven't reached or you haven't accomplished anything, even though your day was filled with tasks and so many things, so many other things. But I'll go to sleep feeling completed, ready to tackle the task on the next day. And so I think that's the difference is, I'm still, there's still not a stop. There's still meetings. There's
Right.
still things that you have to do. There's still like a go get it mentality or motivation, determination around what God has sent you around. But the end of the day, feeling the completion that you get out of it is definitely something to look forward to.
Is worth it. And that's why I wanted to spotlight you, because people our age need to believe that they can feel that way and that they have a purpose and they have gifts and they have an assignment, for being here on this world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's so cool that you founded the Ladder. And I want
Mm-hmm.
you to kind of talk about that, because you're steering young people in their path, in their purpose,
Yeah.
and you're giving service and you're encouraging them. And that's so important. So I wanted you kind of shed light on a little bit of that and how that came about.
Yeah, no, definitely. So the Ladder is a nonprofit organization ministry. We just got through donating food to kind of communities that were kind of lacking food, and then we just got through doing the back to school drive along with a wealth seminar. And so the idea of that was basically I call it the ladder. Like everybody is on the spot on the ladder. Some people are there are some people who are ahead of others, and there's
Mm-hmm.
others that are below. No matter where you are at in the ladder, though, you do not stop. You continue to go forward, and we can glean from the people that are ahead of us, and we can also mentor the people to kind of get them to the stage that we once were. And I think that is very important because you never want to get to the point where you just stop. You're stagnant in life, right? You
Right.
don't want to go back because that is the past. That's the old you. You don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like you're hesitant to move forward because you know what it requires. You know what you may have to lose. You know the battle that you potentially have to fight. And so sometimes we just get stuck in that one place. And so the ladder encourages you to connect, relate, and evolve with so many different people. It's a majority millennial based community, but we reach out to all ages, all people, because we do believe that there is a deep desire for people to connect, relate, and evolve, not only with each other, but primarily with God. So
Exactly. God's message and God's word. And that's so
yeah,
awesome that you say people become stagnant and they become stopped. And that's not where you want to be at all. And you're kind of encouraging people to wherever they are on the ladder, to they're in a mentor position to help the people below them, or to seek people who have, um, you know, on their life's journey, they've learned some more things, so you can learn from them too. So I think it's kind of like a cycle of continuous learning, because we're all continuously learning every day on our purpose. And I feel like
right.
no one really has it figured out, but we are seeking God's message and God's words to guide us through this journey.
Yeah, yeah. No, the process will teach you everything you need to know about what you don't know. And I think
Yeah.
that's so important for people to understand. Like, no, you do not know what lies ahead. But if you continue to move
Mm-hmm.
forward, it will teach you how to get to the next step. And you will use what you learned in the process in that next level, in that next step that God has promoted you to. So, yeah. Continuously pushing people to just move forward despite the uncertainty. I know we're living right now in a world that's just, with the jobs rate and with just, so much uncertainty that is
Yeah.
surrounding family lives. It's really hard to just kind of keep moving, because a lot of people will get to the point where they just feel like, what's the point, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But if we are purpose driven, and if we are passion driven, and if we understand that to not so much focus on results, but focus on what God is teaching you in the time that you are in, you will see that you are a lot farther than you think. I
Right.
think it was somebody said this: your haters will hate on you at a level that you didn't even know that you was on. I forgot who
Right,
said
right. Yes,
it. But
yes.
like, you know, sometimes people hate on you. Sometimes people see stuff in you that you don't even see in yourself, and they're like, "Oh
Exactly.
my God, if my life was this way," and we're downing ourselves. We're so hard on ourselves, but we don't realize that, look, you are a lot farther than you
Mm-hmm.
think. And if you keep pushing, you're actually going to strike the thing that you was trying to hit.
Do you love this conversation right now? I love this conversation right now. Comment below if you relate or have any thoughts about what AJ's saying right now. He's giving such a great message. Let me know how you feel about it and how you connect to it. He's speaking such great things now. So back to the interview. We always think about like how others see us, and I feel like maybe some of us are searching for like that external validation from other people on where we need to go or who we feel like we need to be. And you brought up your identity and
Yeah.
setting your identity in what someone else thinks of you instead of what you think of yourself or what God has made you to be
Mm-hmm.
in your purpose is one of the things that people struggle with so many days,
Yeah.
day in and day out. So what's your advice for people? They're trying to seek that external validation from others. And I think that's the way the path and the culture is the right path. But the real thing is that we need to focus on is, you know, our hearts and our message and our purpose. What is your advice for people kind of, maybe they are stagnant and they fear that next step? What is your
Mm-hmm.
advice for people in that realm?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question, because that's a very challenging spot to be in, you know, because there
Yeah.
are, you know, you do want a good job. You do
Yeah.
want, hey, you know, you are doing great, you know, and that validation sometimes can be what we are looking for. However, I don't think we need to let it control us. And when we begin to start letting those validation or those approval addictions control us, then we will begin to start seeking for their approval rather than what God has already validated on the inside of us. And so I think that's very important, because a lot of people have grown up with, you know, your mom or your dad or whoever was your guardian telling you, you know, you're doing a good job. That's how you
Mm-hmm.
knew to keep doing what you were doing so that you can
Right.
get that validation. And sometimes we don't know we are doing a good job because that hasn't been validated in any area of our life, and we don't know whether we should just keep going in that direction or should we fall back. But the opinions of others do weigh on our hearts and our minds, but I don't think that you should let it control you. And that's when you're not letting the opinions of others control you, you're actually getting to a place where you allow yourself to you literally allow yourself to disconnect from the agenda that people have of your life and the expectation that sometimes people put on your life,
Yeah.
and you can walk in who you truly are
Mm-hmm.
without being discouraged about who they are or what they have became. I tell people all the time, I say I can walk in any room and not be intimidated by the person who is so much farther in life than I am, because I know who I am. And when you
Mm-hmm.
are comfortable with who you are, you are not intimidated by the presence of success, or neither are
Mm-hmm.
you intimidated by somebody who's much farther than you, or not even getting approval, because you know that whatever is on the inside of you has already been completed. It just now needs to be manifested.
Yeah.
So
Manifest it. I love
yeah,
that. I love
yeah,
that. And last night you spoke about gifts under pressure, I think, or
yeah.
gifted under pressure. And
Uh-huh.
you brought up this great point of making sure that you hold to the vision that you have and how
Mm-hmm.
important that is along your way of the journey. And I wanted you to elaborate on that a little bit, because that's the real stuff. That's the real deal. What you're speaking
Mm-hmm.
on your Instagram as your platform to help others. And I thought that was such a beautiful topic last night, because we all have gifts, but with those gifts, there comes this pressure, you know.
Yeah, no, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching.
Hey,
I really appreciate that.
it was awesome.
Yes. No, yeah, no, because yeah, a lot of people are dealing with, that's that's the prayer request, the
Hmm.
anxiety, depression, the mental health, the uncertainty. And so we kind of get this built up pressure that comes with our gifting. And I think it's very important for us to understand that we all want the promotions, we all want the rewards, we want to be acknowledged. However, we don't understand that with every level there is a different devil, and so
Yeah.
you have to be prepared for what your calling, what your gifting will bring. And vision is very important because you have something to refer back to. I don't know if you've ever took an open book test before, but if you're taking a test, in the middle of the test, even though you've studied the material, if you have an open book that is beside you, you can refer back to when you come to a challenging question that you thought you knew, that you thought you studied, or that you thought
Hmm.
that you had it down. You can always refer back to the foundation, the establishment, the reason why, and that all encompasses your vision. And so it's very important for us to hold on to the vision, because once we lose sight of that, we lose sight of our identity, we lose sight of who we are as a person, because we don't have nothing to refer back to.
Beautiful, beautiful. I
Thank
love
you.
that. So I had to kind of share that with everyone because I listened to that and I was like, that's such a great kind of referred to. 'Cause a lot of us, maybe our age, we have taken an open book test and we have to
Hmm.
refer to that book because
Hmm.
sometimes we don't remember what the answer was. We thought we knew it, but we weren't
All
sure and
right.
we had to look back to that. So how
Right.
important it is to look back to your vision when, speaking into this world today, when everything feels kind of it's overwhelming for what's going on each day for people, and some people are even just trying to survive.
Oh
So
yeah.
period. And I love that you speak God's faith and God's message into people, and you bring courage into people through your speaking in your word. And that's, I feel like courage is what people need right now, because
Thank you.
they can feel drained or depleted, which is one of the other things you've spoken about. And
Hmm.
just simple speaking courage and light into people is
Hmm.
what our world needs. So I want to
Yeah.
kind of thank you for that.
Thank you.
um, but what I kind of want to end with the last question of what you're excited for. It's just turned September. It's about to be fall. It's a change
Mhm.
of seasons in a way. What you're excited for along your path, and what you're excited to kind of share with others as this month goes on and the fall season kind of comes.
Yeah, that's a really good question, a really great question, because I haven't really thought about that. I know that I'm coming into a season that, it has been on my heart and my mind, just to know that, AJ, in order for me to take you to the next level, I feel like God is saying there's something that you're going to have to let go. And so
Hmm.
every sacrifice bring about, a different type of lesson, a different type of, a part of you that you have to leave behind in order for God to pour more into you. And so I'm excited about the just the understanding that, you know I am comfortable in I am in good hands. The Allstate commercial, you're
Yes.
in good hands. I'm in good hands. And
Hmm.
no matter what happens, no matter the downfall, no matter how we perceive life, I'm in good hands. And because I have so much faith in those hands, it's almost like I'm ready to let go of the things that I need to let go of. I'm ready to be the person that God has called me to be in this season of my life, in this area of my life. And so that's what I'm excited about the most, is just, having that next, that it's like that second wind of faith,
Hmm.
that you
Yeah.
get when you understand that you are in good hands.
Exactly. God always has us in good hands. And I feel like when we have to let things go, we can sometimes grieve on what we're losing, but we need to focus on what is and be excited for what's yet to be found in our lives in that season and what we're about to bring to others. So AJ, I want to thank you. I want to thank you so much for your time, your wisdom. I feel like that's what people need to hear right now, especially the millennials, the people my age or younger. We need to make purpose popular in God's word too. So don't forget to subscribe, and you can find AJ on his website, alfredwashington.com. And on the ladder, there's also a website for that, ladderdallas.org. And you're also on Instagram. What's your Instagram tag?
It is AlfredJW_.
Perfect. I'm going to put all that stuff in the description below so you can go find AJ's wisdom, all this stuff. It's awesome. I recommend for you guys to follow him on his journey. He's a real one. He's giving straight light and straight love. So AJ, I want to thank you today, and I hope you have a great day. And this was super cool. I appreciate you. I know I've said this over and over again, but when you're in a mentor spot and you're kind of you're leading, I'm younger, I'm building, so it's an exciting opportunity for me. So I just want to.
That's what's up. Yeah, keep going. I'm going to be interviewing you next.
Hey, oh my gosh, what a dream! That'd be awesome.
Don't forget about me.
I won't. No, you were my first interview.